Next, Tracy Palangian sits down with globe-trotting social entrepreneur Willy Foote, whose company, Root Capital, helps lift small farmers in Africa and South America out of poverty by replacing the middleman and marketing crops directly to socially responsible firms like Green Mountain Coffee and Starbucks. Tracy finds Willy Foote back home in Cambridge to ask how Root Capital does well by doing good.
Coffee coming in from the hills, crops half and plenty up there still. The warehouse he built is packed to the roof. With no mule to carry his sacks, he loads them up on his back, 100 pounds each, down the muddy tracks.
Helping rural farmers in developing countries. That is the core mission of Root Capital.
I think I join a growing number of people who believe, as with microfinance, that creating and building competitive businesses is one of the most fundamental responses we have to entrenched global poverty.
What's fascinating to me, Willy, about Root Capital is that you're a 501c, you're a nonprofit organization, but you, in addition to having donors, traditional donors who write you a check, you have investors.
We accomplish that through the emergence of a new industry, if you will, which is called impact investing. And impact investing is about addressing serious environmental and social problems in the world while generating financial profit. But what's exciting is it's really a brand new industry that's playing in the uncharted area between philanthropy on one side and a singular focus on profit maximization on the other side.
Most of us are familiar with the microfinance model. Tell us about Root Capital and how your model is different.
Root Capital is a social investment fund that is working to increase prosperity and sustain the environment in Latin America and Sub-Saharan Africa. You have 2.6 billion people in the world who live on less than $2 a day, and many of them lack access to basic necessities, to electricity, clean water, medicine, health clinics, basic education. But if you ask them what's their number one priority, they'll typically say, I need a job or I need a stable source of income. So we are investing in grassroots businesses that can dramatically improve livelihoods in rural communities in the developing world, that can increase income, quality of life for farm households with only a few acres of land.
By lending anywhere from $25,000 to over $1 million, the goal is to help small farmers grow their business and become self-sustaining.
Let me tell you a story about a coffee grower that I met in Tanzania recently. Her name is Shiahiati Munua. She's 36 years old, and she was born and raised in the rainforest on the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro. Turns out Shiahiati is one of about 400,000 small-scale coffee growers in Tanzania who still rely on so-called home processing of their coffee. That is, they manually depulp their coffee cherries with old-fashioned equipment, and it breaks the beans and it produces really poor quality. It fetches really low prices and it locks them out of the specialty market. So Root Capital, several years ago, made a loan to Shiahiati's Farmer Association so that about 100 one-acre farmers together could invest in a centralized processing plant with state-of-the-art technology, dramatically improves the quality of their coffee. Not long thereafter, Starbucks shows up. Several years later, Starbucks is increasing their purchases 30-fold. And the Farm Association has turned into a federation of associations. So basically, Shiahiati went from being a subsistence farmer to an agricultural entrepreneur in 3 years. I discovered in my own professional journey some really exciting news, which is there are a lot of companies out there that are craving products that come from one-acre farmers in Rwanda or in Peru. There are more and more consumers who are looking for products that are sustainably grown and ethically sourced. You still have the businesses, the farmer associations, falling into that missing middle. So they can't pay their farmers on time, they can't grow their operations, they can't invest in the infrastructure they need to take advantage of rising demand.
Among the products available in stores all around New England made possible by Root Capital are Starbucks coffee, Green Mountain Coffee, organic chocolate bars, and health and beauty products sold at The Body Shop.
There are literally millions of people like Shiahiati out there who have a chance to dramatically improve their standard of living, but they're locked out of opportunities because of market failures and lack of access to capital and training and markets and technology, the basic inputs you need to succeed and lift yourself out of poverty. And that's why we founded Root Capital, for individuals like Shiahiati, and we continue to grow because of people like her. We're a bank out there in the forest for those who are the poorest. We make them whole, that's our role at Root Capital.